Stars is currently rank 2 in the world, exactly where he's meant to be, and today I'm going to show you what army is using and how you can use it as well. And unsurprisingly, the army is Super Witch Fireball. So let's start off this video with a beautiful fireball. Bam! Opening up the base and setting an insane funnel. So Stars staying with his Town Hall 16 army here and having amazing results with it, as obviously he is second in the world. Now, rather disappointingly, there's none of the new things in this army. No throwers, no minion prints, really none of that. But is it surprising? Because the fireball is just the strongest hero equipment in the game at the moment, and it pairs so perfectly with the Super Witches. So what you want to do is set a nice funnel like Stars has here. Then you put your 3 Super Witches down, and what I like about what Stars does is he puts the Super Witches down and waits for the big boys to get in front and tank for the king, because the big boys are replaceable, right? So we don't mind if they take a lot of the damage. We do mind if the king takes damage, because with this army you've got one jump spell and you've got the king ability with the earthquake boots that you see here, and the two of them together with the jump have to open up the entire base for your Super Witches. So you have to pick which one you use early. So Stars here is going to use the king ability early to open up the front side of the base, and then the jump spell to get out of the base. Meanwhile, on the flank, we've got the queen with the siege barracks. You can see the Valks have already come out of the siege barracks here. They're doing a great job. And whilst all this is going, we've got the royal champion, but she's with a few other Valks on the other side. And we'll talk more about this across the video, because it's something really interesting that I've only seen Stars do, wherein he'll use the royal champion with the rocket spear and the hog puppet with 6 Valks on the outside of the base, and essentially they work together to clear out an entire side, and they actually work together really well. Even though the Valks can't enter the base, they tank beautifully for the royal champion, and look at how quickly we've cleaned up this base, 3-starring a Town Hall 17 in less than 2 minutes. But what about a base with 2 rage towers in the center? Well, we'll see how Stars deals with that here. So we're starting with a Warden Charge. Now in the last attack, Stars could get the fireball exactly where he wanted to with just the 2 invis spells, but he needs a bit more than 2 invis spells to get the fireball to the center of the base here. So we're going to start off with a Warden Walk, but Warden Walks are pretty chill. If you need to, you can use a rage spell with it, but generally Stars is not using a rage spell with this Warden Walk at all. We've got the unicorn on the Warden helping out, and look at this, we're about to take down the ricochet cannon. Beautifully done there. Now we're going to deal with this low-level archer tower, and then here comes the double invis. We're going for that multi-archer tower in the core, and look at that, we get rid of one of the entire rage tower compartments, because when it comes to poison tower bases, getting down the poison tower isn't as important to this army, but rage towers can ruin your attack. So the Warden's going to deal with the air bow here, but look at how quickly we're going to finish off this base. 90 seconds. So Super Witches have kind of a history or a reputation for being a really slow army. But when you do this fireball version of the army and you've got the rage gem with it, it's really not the case. So if you're doing a slightly longer Warden Walk, that is fine. So we've got the Super Witches going out. Yet again, we're not even deploying the king yet until we're 100% sure he is tanked for. We've got the queen on the right side, and we're not even putting down the siege barracks yet either. Now, something I didn't realize about this army till this hit is Stars doesn't bring a poison spell. So if he runs into a 4-witch CC, there's not really a lot he can do, but generally speaking, you're not going to run into those, and he's using these spells elsewhere in the army. So we've got the queen with the siege barracks setting an elite funnel. We use the jump at the start, then the king ability to open up the rest of the center of the base, and yeah, this base is in so much trouble at this point, and that is despite all the healers being stuck on this one Super Witch. Have a look at this. We're going to crush this base without any of the healers outside of the Warden Walk. Now let's have a look at the Royal Champion on this side. I hinted at it in the first attack. Look at how well they work together. So he's got 5 Valks on the outside of the base here. And then the Royal Champion, he's generally using a rage spell with the Royal Champion as well, particularly if you compare it with the Hog Puppet ability. Now, what do I think of the Hog Puppet and the Royal Champion? And the Rocket Spear, ability? I think it's interesting. I prefer the Rocket Spear, personally, with the Seeking Shield, but this one clearly works really well for Stars and provides a little bit more tanking than the Seeking Shield would. Now Stars is hitting more of a boxy base, but yet again, 2 rage towers. Town Hall is on the back end. here's the thing though, is the Town Hall as dangerous as it used to be? Probably not really. It's not as much of a consideration when you're doing this style of attack. If you're doing a Queen Charge, then it's a massive consideration. If you're doing some other attacks, it's a bit more, but not really as much with this one. You just kind of go through it like it's not really there. So, 2 Rage Towers. Obviously, we want to remove one of the Rage Towers with the Fireball, so that's what Stars is going to do here. We're starting the Warden Walk on the back end of the base. Going to get rid of this Ricochet Cannon. I'm just going to 2 times through the Warden Walk here, because it will take a little bit. Thank you, Stars. Alright, beautiful. And as soon as this Wizard Tower goes down, he's going to put the 1 Invis down. So he doesn't use both Invis, only really if he has to. And then yet again, we got the Super Witches, and we are not putting our Barbarian King down yet. I'm surprised he hasn't started with the Queen earlier, because the funnel is going to be quite important here. So we got the Queen and Siege Barracks. Now, he is going to use the jump at the start here rather than the King ability, because it'd be hard for the King to walk alongside this wall so that you can pop his ability in a good spot. Dead zones aren't really great for the Earthquake Boots ability, so you'd rather jump over a dead zone and then use your King through the rest of the base. So we're going to pop the King ability, I think, right now. And I mean, the Spiky Ball gets insane value. The Earthquake Boots opens up everything we need, and we are away with this attack. The healers are sitting quite far back, but that's fine. We don't need the healers on the big boys or the Barbarian King. We need them on the Super Witches. We got the new Fire Spitter defense here. I found it quite underwhelming, honestly. I thought it would be so bad against healers, but it's not. So I feel like it should get a buff. If it was like killing healers, then I think that'd be quite bad for the strategy of the game. But it really isn't as much a healer killer as I thought. Same as before, we've got the Valks and the Royal Champion, all with a rage spell. He makes sure he uses a rage with each of them, pops that Rocket Spear and Hog Puppet ability, and I mean, he's wrecked this. 3 swag spells yet again, not even close. Stars is crushing Town Hall 17 nearly as easily as is crushing Town Hall 16. And now we're going to finish off with one of these bases where the core is kind of isolated from the rest of the base. As you can see, there is a layer of empty space around the core here. So a lot of these bases are set up to be kind of anti-fireball, in the sense that if you fireball on the outside of the base, you're not really going to get a whole lot of value. You might get, you know, an Inferno and an Expo, but not much more than that. But what I love about this army is Stars, he's got the 3 Rages, 2 Freeze, and 2 Invis. So he's got plenty of spells that can assist his Warden Walk if need be. And he's going after this sweeper here, because if you can get the Fireball into the core of these isolated core bases, then the Fireball's always going to get insane value. So you see, as soon as this Expo goes down, he's going to put an Invis on the top side, Invis on the bottom side, Fireball straight through the middle, and this base is in a whole lot of trouble. Now we're going to come in with the Super Witches on the right hand side, and I'm going to keep pointing it out what he does with this army, and I love it. So he's got the Super Witches here. He's not going to place the King or the Queen for at least another 10 seconds here. He's just going to let the funnel develop. He's not really in a rush with this attack. Now, this attack does get a little close on time, but that's only because he allows it to be, because he's so confident with the army. Look at this. Still haven't put the King down. Still no Queen, because he's going to set the funnel on this Elixir Collector that you see I'm selecting on the bottom side. So we wall break in. Now we're going to start with the Queen. Any second now, the King will come in. Basically, as that bomb tower goes down, yep, we're going to let him take a little bit of damage as he comes in, but that's fine. Now, Stars does make a mistake with this attack. He uses the jump spell here, because the King is quite healthy, but then he ends up using the King ability on basically the same tile. So we're doubling up on our ability to jump through the base, to go through the base. So as you can see here, Super Witches don't really have a lot of access to the back end, and that's why this attack ends up getting a bit closer on time than the other ones. Siege Barracks is doing a great job. I mean, the Queen's barely taking any damage. It's perfect. So the King is going to die here going through the wall. Now, I haven't showed you what's in the CC yet. So for those of you who stayed, good on you, because Stars in his CC is bringing 5 Valks, a healer, and an archer, which I didn't think he'd bring, but 55 is not a great number in terms of Valks. You'd only be able to bring 7 of them and a bunch of extra random troops. So why not bring 7 of them? No, 6 of them and a bunch of extra troops. So why not bring just 1 less Valk, but also a healer? Now, up here, you're going to see why this Valk Royal Champion push is so strong. Look at it. It just burns through everything. He's always saving a rage spell from them. The Valks are super fast and tanky. The Royal Champion gets so much assistance. That way she's never going to get no value because you're investing a whole lot more into her. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed these live attacks from stars. If there's anyone else in the top 3 you'd like to see attacks from, let us know. I may have messaged one of them to see if we could get their hits on the channel really soon.